Josh is starting. Intro.
Right now?
Yeah.
Welcome back to My Mom Has Tourette's podcast, where I'm one of your hosts, Josh.
And we didn't plan this out. Mom, Andrew.
He just
We
said,
do it every single time. What do you mean we didn't plan it out?
He just said go. You're like... Hi, welcome back to another episode of My Mom Has Tourette's podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Josh.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Josh. And this week, one of our mothers is related to Mark Twain.
Only this week?
So, well, just this week.
Oh, wow.
It's a special. It's a buy one, don't get one deal.
I don't get one.
I want that deal.
Get off.
I like this deal. Sign me up.
I saw a picture the other day. It said, buy one hamburger, pay full price for second hamburger, get second hamburger for same price as first.
Marketing.
Marketing.
I'm pretty sure there's some poor saps who fall for it, to be honest.
It just sounds like a deal. It sounds like it's supposed to be a deal. They're like, yeah.
I want the coupon on the board outside.
You got it?
So, how are we?
Oh, boy.
How are we?
As a collective, or?
Yes, let's go collective and then individual.
I'd say overall we're like 8.6.
Yeah, I'd
We're
say
pretty-
overall we're
take
like
that.
8.6 as a collective grave mind here.
I'll take that. I like it. All right, now how are we individually?
We are not individuals.
We are the hive
We
mind.
are one.
Oh, I feel buzzing.
But in a universe, let's say there was a universe where we were not. Andrew, how you feeling? What's going on? How was your week?
My week has been pretty normal outside of apparently when you're in your 30s you're able to aggressively shower and get swimmer's ear for 4 days. So that's a thing that I didn't know. But I just got drops prescribed and hopefully it helps. I still can't hear pretty much out of the left side of my face.
That's
And
impressive.
I'm wondering if I'm wondering if people who have had heart attacks feel the same way, but worse because they actually can't use part of their face. But right now, it's just my hearing that's gone. It's greatly
Still stuck
impacted
on
my
the
gaming.
term aggressively showering.
Well, I mean, that's the only water I had interaction with. It's not like I'm taking my cup over here and just throwing it in my ear. The only way I embrace my face with water is via the shower.
This guy takes 3-minute showers. He basically dives into the shower, turns it on while he's putting shampoo in his hair, and I don't know. I just I wish I could watch you shower.
Nathan, how many times do I have to tell you I don't want my personal life on this podcast? My gosh. You guys just don't listen.
That's fair. That's fair. Started off by talking about the swimmer's ear, but I see how it is.
Well, what about yourself, Nathan? How have you been?
Oh, I've been all right. It's been a hectic week. Work's been intense. There's a lot of people calling me, and I just want them to go away. There was a flash flood today at our apartment complex, so that was pretty sweet.
Oh.
Some dude got his truck stuck in a creek right beside our apartment complex because the water was so high you couldn't see that there was a creek there. It was just level with the road. So I obviously strapped a GoPro to my chest and walked around the whole complex and filmed everything and took a bunch of pictures with my phone. So that was a good time.
It's funny.
And of course,
I guess it's not funny, but that is crazy.
the whole neighborhood was out, just wading in the water like I did, or just standing on their porches and watching the chaos. I love chaos.
It reminds me in Washington.
Some dude pumped up a huge, I'm not kidding, a lapras, a huge lapras.
Yes.
Oh, that's what that picture was from.
That was from you guys?
And
I thought you found that on the internet.
Yeah, he floated around. Did you see the truck in the background? You saw that picture?
Yes.
Yeah. That truck is the one that was in the creek.
Was it the same guy's truck?
I just chalked that up to this is Nathan's humor. He probably found this picture.
Yeah, I thought
No, it's better than that. And
that's
okay,
amazing.
Josh?
Well, it reminds me in Washington when it flooded there by the Wendy's next to the Denny's where the old mall is with the Hollywood movie theater.
I know where you're
and it
talking
flooded
about.
there. and they were all swimming in that intersection in kayaks.
That's so good.
That's
love
funny.
that.
I
so
remember
much.
when Washington had the really bad flood. That's when the trailer that I was living in just got boop and floated on away. It was a good time.
Oh no.
Actually, my trailer didn't really move. It just kind of got uplifted, but like there was legit like a couple trailers that just like see you later, just started floating down the
Gosh.
street.
Oh, that's terrible.
Jeez. Oh,
It's something. We drove around a bit when it chilled out, and when it was like our neighborhood got hit the most compared to everything around us. It was like not that much water, and ours was we're like a little. I guess we're a little valley, and I'm just now learning that. So that's pretty cool. I guess it was raining like crazy. It sounded like lightning was hitting our house. Not really, but
well, guess you lucked out there.
yeah, I love it. My cats were having a great time being terrified.
So, Nathan, I told
Mhm.
Andrew this story, but I haven't
Mhm.
told you this yet.
You haven't.
So, I worked Saturday, and I was supposed to be done at 9, but I worked a little bit more and got off at 10. And I was supposed to go see this house, this apartment in Harrisburg, because we're moving out there. And so I texted the guy, said, "Hey, I'm leaving work. I'll be there in 15 minutes." He said, "Okay." Halfway to the house, he texts me, goes, "I'm inside waiting." I said, "All right." So we've talked to this guy on the phone, and we thought he was Asian. And he had a Craigslist ad for the house. And he removed the ad, and so I didn't have any pictures of the house to see. So I called him, and I'm like, this was a couple days ago when I called him. I was like, "Do you have any pictures that you could send me?" He goes, "I know photo agent. You see the house or you don't. Don't matter to me." I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'll see the house then." So Saturday, I go over to see the house. I pull up, and I'm like, well, we'll see. This isn't the greatest neighborhood. Well, he comes out, and he's standing on the porch. So I get my phone out because I'm going to videotape to show my wife because she's driving to work at this time. So I'm going to take some videos of the place, send them to her, and see if she likes it. I walk up the steps, and he goes, "Are you the truck driver?" I said, "Yeah, my name's Josh." And he shakes my hand, and it was like a dead fish. He just like puts his hand out there and just limps it. And then it's like you grab it, and it's like, do I squeeze or do I like show him like, are we both gonna limp handshake each other? So I just give him a nice little handshake, and he turns around and he walks inside. And as soon as he walks inside and he turns around to welcome me in, this guy comes running off the street going, "Hey, hey, you!" And he runs up the steps. So now I'm on the porch. This guy's in front of me, and the landlord who's shown us the house is inside. And he goes, "I need to talk to you." And he goes, "No, no, no, I don't want none. Leave me alone. Leave me alone." And he slams the door shut. So now the guy who's supposed to be showing me the house slammed the door on us, and I'm outside with this guy standing on the steps. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? And the guy's like, "Hey, man, what's up?" I'm like, "Nothing. What's up with you?" He goes, "Oh, I'm trying to serve him." I said, "Serve him for what?" "Oh, well," and so he started cussing the dude out, calling him all these names. And I'm like, "Okay, why are you serving him?" Long story short, I guess the landlord asked him to do work for him. And this guy lives in one of this landlord's places. The guy did the work. The landlord never paid the guy for the work. And so now the guy's coming after the landlord for the money. Well, the landlord's trying to evict the guy so he doesn't have to pay the money. So now the guy is suing the landlord. And the whole time I look over and this dude's woman is standing in the street videotaping. So now somewhere I'm in
World
a
star.
videotape just standing there while these two dudes are arguing on the porch. So he turns around and he just starts calling the dude's name, and he just walks down, and he's like, "I wouldn't rent from him. If you want to deal with stuff like this, go ahead, but I wouldn't." So I just got in the car and I left. Never saw the place. Landlord never texted me like, "Sorry for that. Do you still want to see the place?" Have not heard from him.
But how is the landlord supposed to follow up with that? Okay, on the 1% chance he's not a piece of scum, how do you message or call a future buyer after that. Like, oh, hey, Mr. Maxwell, sorry that clinically insane man rushed you in this, quote, nice, beautiful apartment that I have for you in this great neighborhood. Absolutely not. You know it's trash, and he knows you know.
I get that, and I don't expect him to message, but like in my mind, it'd be like, should I apologize? Like, if I was in his shoes, would I apologize to the guy I was showing the place to, or am I just gonna block him and just no, he's never gonna rent from me again?
Pretty sure he's gonna go with the latter, if it's my guess. He already has one person that doesn't want to rent from him. He has two.
It was awkward. I was like, oh, this is fun. I got to see the house, and I left. Got to see the outside.
This was fun.
This outside looked pretty decent.
Has some nice paint on it.
So, and then I have a little Amazon story for you.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So I was watching TikTok, and they said if you pay for Amazon Prime and your shipping is delayed for an Amazon Prime item, that you should call customer support, and usually they reimburse you a little bit of money for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing it, and it's worked. I've gotten like $5 in credit or a gift card or something for my next purchase. So I have this mouse that has this little side button on it. And one day last week, I realized the side button was missing and I couldn't find it. So I went on Amazon and I found one, and I ordered it last Sunday. Now, it was supposed to be here on Tuesday. And there was the lane shipping, so I called them like Thursday. And I was like, hey, I'm an Amazon Prime member and I bought a Prime product, but the product is not here. It's past the 2 days. Like, I would like to be compensated for a little bit because I'm paying for a feature that I'm not receiving. Long story short, they refunded me a month's worth of Prime, which in their eyes is $16.
Yeah, I've done that. They've done that for me before.
That little mouse piece was $12.
Nice.
This guy's
buying-
making money.
I know. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it, sure. News stories in gaming this week. First, we have this week's players from the game Horizon Forbidden West have found a memorial in the game for late actor Lance Reddick, who passed away in March of this year. Lance was an avid gamer, and in his online game played a character called Silent. Lance is well known for his role as the hotel clerk in John Wick and Cedric Daniels in The Wire. The memorial has Reddick's name suspended in lights overlooking the Hollywood sign. Players say it was added in late June with an update to the game, although not exactly sure when the welcome the memorial. So Andrew, I've never played Horizons. What is that?
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes. So Horizon Forbidden West is the second one. I think Zero Dawn was the title of the first one.
Yeah.
But you kind of want to figure it's a future dystopian type of adventure game. Instead of like you versus the wild is actually a bunch of like machines that are shaped like animals. The whole, I guess, premise, without getting into too much spoiler territory, is so after a large world event where all of life was ceasing to exist, the game essentially boiled us down to all of these animal-shaped robots have a function to kind of fix the world. So they monitor agriculture. Some of it is in part in response to like clean water, stuff like that. And of course, it boils down to things go wrong, so you have to fight animal machines. And that's kind of the gameplay loop, but for both of them. It's cool that this article came out because I'd just beaten it. It was a free game last month on PlayStation Plus. So I had just beaten it, and while I was doing some exploring while I played it, there's another kind of hidden cutscene in the game. One of the developers for Horizon Zero Dawn passed away while it was in development. So if you just like randomly swim out to this little island that's barely even marked on your map, you can find another mural basically of this developer, and they have this cool like peaceful scene where it pans out. And I mean, Horizon's a game where you pretty much play it because it looks pretty. so they take advantage of that, and it was pretty cool. And then once I heard about the Lance Reddick, because I mean, like you said, he's in like John Wick. He's a pretty decently famous actor too. But yeah, I'll have to go back and play that because from what I heard, they didn't put it in originally, and I know I certainly didn't find it. So I'm gonna have to
No,
go back
they
and check
think
that
it
out.
was released in a recent patch that just came out or an update,
hmm
and that's when they started finding it. So you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't. I beat it like at the end of May, so I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know how many John Wick movies he's in, but he's definitely in the first when he John Wick checks into the hotel and he's there behind the counter and he's like, we have services for you and the hotel, is here for your use.
I
So
know too that I'm not too familiar with the game, but he is also one of the more prevalent characters in Destiny. He voices one of them. So if you've played Destiny, you've
yes,
probably
I forgot
Zavala.
yeah.
about that.
Oh, okay. I
Zavala,
didn't know who
right?
he was.
I believe it's
Beats
Zavala.
me. He's got one of those
Yeah,
voices where it's kind of hard to forget. He's like Velvet Man,
he's pretty
just
prolific.
smooth.
It was sad.
hmm
I'd
Yeah,
kind of
the
hoped.
article said,
I'd kind of
Uh,
hoped that he would eventually play a character in, if they did some form of live action Mistborn series. It's a character called Sazed, or some people may call him Sazed, and I thought he was a very good pick for it. So that's also kind of sad in a different way, but
Machine Games, a video game developer whose parent company is ZeniMax, was originally supposed to release the new Indiana Jones game on PlayStation 5. Disney had an agreement with ZeniMax for a multi-platform release. ZeniMax was bought by Xbox, and the agreement was altered to become an Xbox and PC exclusive game. It's set to hit Game Pass day one. Machine Games is the developer of Wolfenstein, is under the umbrella of Bethesda and ZeniMax, which Xbox just took over. The developers haven't officially announced what platforms the game will be available on, but the comments on going to Game Pass from Hines, who's an Xbox exclusive executive, are the best indication as to where players will be able to find the game when it releases.
gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I fully get the capitalism reason as to why certain games only are released on certain platforms, and trust me, I've always had an Xbox over a PlayStation because of the Halo games. However, I hate it personally, and I wish that pretty much like if a game was put out there, it could exist on any of the platforms, but it's just not how things are, unfortunately.
Well, it also
that,
goes into the last one. What were we going to say, Andrew?
I was gonna say that's true, and I would like to think in recent years, all of these corporate giants within the gaming world have slowly started to see the benefit of just everybody having access to all of these games because within the past I would say 5 6 years now, they've really been making strides towards at least crossplay for just about anything that comes out now.
That's been
Whereas
nice.
before, I would have loved to, as a PlayStation kid, play Halo once or twice with my friends, and I just have to go over to my friend's house back in the days when you could just sit next to each other and play games, but that's almost not happening anymore, non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it all ties into the last article. The boss of PlayStation, Jim Ryan, wrote in an email that they will continue to see Call of Duty on PlayStation for years to come in response to the news that Microsoft is trying to buy Activision and Blizzard. Lawyers from Microsoft are currently battling with the FTC, or the Federal Trade Commission, for the future of the $69 billion buyout of Activision and Blizzard. So that's pretty big. I think that email, he's just being hopeful because Xbox and Microsoft are fighting with the Federal Trade Commission in
Mm-hmm.
court over this. So it's not guaranteed that Call of Duty will be on PlayStation for years to come, but he's just being hopeful.
Yeah.
But owning Bethesda and ZeniMax and Activision and Blizzard are huge. I mean, because we all play games from all of those developers. Isn't Bethesda Fallout? I
I
thought they
believe
made
so.
Fallout, and then
Skyrim, Elder
Activision
Scrolls
of
and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And Blizzard makes a lot of games.
Yeah,
Isn't
a
Overwatch
lot.
Blizzard?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And then Call of Duty's of Activision. So I mean, Microsoft is getting on top of some things here.
Mhm.
So I think that's a pretty big deal. Because if they take over all that, then all those games become exclusives. Then
Which I
Sony
haven't
loses.
watched the actual court hearing, but I have read pretty decently into we'll just call them the cliff notes of like what happened. Dude, it is the epitome of you have a ball and I want to play with it. It is absolutely childish how this is going on because what's happening is every time, because PlayStation, and I mean, I'll be honest, PlayStation have been kind of like jerks about like, oh, look at our exclusives we have. We have God of War, we have Horizon, we have all these cool games that you can't play anywhere else. And now PlayStation has been kind of dipping their toe into like the Steam game. Did something happen? What are you laughing for?
I froze like this, and then all of a sudden it unfroze, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I thought I was having another technical issue again.
No, I was watching Nathan while I was frozen like this.
I was staring at you, waiting for it to.
No.
That's great.
All right, go
We
ahead.
really were listening, Andrew.
No,
I
that's
was
fine.
listening.
But like it's just so bad because Sony, just like within the past year or two, has been starting to dip into the Steam element of things, and they're slowly releasing like exclusives from PlayStation onto Steam to see if it works. And they're like, we're getting a lot of money from this. We like this. So they start to continue doing it. But what happens is now it almost seems like when Sony has a good idea or Microsoft has a good idea, they're both just trying to show each other that they have the bigger cojones. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Because like you said, once what happened was Bethesda games were starting to go PlayStation exclusive. And then Microsoft was like, "Nah, chief, we want some of that money." But Sony's just like, "Well, they just made a deal with us. What are you going to do about it?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we'll just buy Bethesda." And then Kotick is another one. They hold, through Microsoft, they essentially hold Call of Duty for ransom. And but the problem was, I don't know if it was Activision. I think it was because Activision and Sledgehammer Games make Call of
Yeah.
Duty. And I think it was Activision was the one that signed exclusivity terms with Sony for PlayStation because like when the new one came out, there were like certain skins and stuff you could only get through playing on PlayStation, stuff like that. And so now Microsoft is like, well, I see them making that. So what are we going to do instead of like making a better deal? Let's just buy Activision. And it's just like, oh, this person has a pretty thing over here. I want it. And then, oh my gosh, you guys need to look into just try to look up some of the court cases that they've had on this through the FTC because they brought in Google Stadia, a representative from Google Stadia as their expert on like gaming. Which, yeah, so I see your face, Nathan, because you at least somewhat understand this. Josh, I don't know if you know this. Google tried to come out with a console that was cloud based, flopped horribly, was done within like a year, like bankrupt, done. It was pretty bad. But their whole shtick was we're gonna do a only cloud gaming service, and it failed miserably. But they brought this person in as an expert, and the expert's on the stand, and he's like, "You guys do realize I'm nothing compared to these two people. Like, I don't understand how I'm an expert on this." And so they're just like, okay. And then they like switch defense and they put some guy, I can't remember the dude's name. He was some big wig at Sony. So what they did was they brought him on the stand like 3 to 5 times. And so they bring out like this thing that he swears on. I didn't watch it. So again, I'm just assuming it's a Bible because he's swearing under oath or something. But like they get him to swear under oath. The first thing is they're like, tell us that Call of Duty won't have Sony exclusives. So the dude's like, okay. So he swears on it. they're like, all right, now tell us that this game isn't going to have exclusives on Sony. And he's like, okay. And so he does it again. And after a couple times, the judge just jumps in and is like, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? You have no idea what you're doing in court. And it's so funny because you have all these bigwig lawyers who know absolutely nothing about games or gaming, and they don't know what's going on. It's so funny. You got to look up some of the case notes and stuff.
I'll have to. Because a lot of the info was talking about like the court cases and the files that were coming from it. So it's crazy. It's like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing all over again, but with video games.
Well, here's one I have. I do have some cliff notes that I still have up on my laptop. So the FTC has shown a poor baseline understanding of the industry that they're trying to regulate here by killing this deal. At one point, the FTC asked Sarah Bond if you needed a Windows key to stream video games, in addition to not knowing how existing exclusivity arrangements are made and how Sony itself has done it over the years and continues to do so. Another quick note, it just says that here it is. The FTC called someone from Google Stadia to the stand to testify about cloud gaming. The reason the deal was blocked in the UK, so they blocked it because the UK has something against streaming video games. So right now, but all the Stadia inclusion really proves is that there's a tiny market with no audience that's deeply hard to find a footing in. It felt like the witness for Microsoft side was showing that they don't understand how cloud gaming works and that it's a difficult market and a fraction of this overall deal. Because the whole cloud thing was like, it's like 8% of the deal that they were trying to run through. And like just looking through this, you can tell that no one on either side knows what they're doing. They're just rich lawyers who don't play video games.
Name
Kind of like little kids
3
fighting.
video games. Galaga, Snake, Tetris,
Yeah.
Pong.
Pong.
Oh,
I got
who
4.
mentions? Yeah, the guy who mentions Tetris is like, yeah, they don't know what to do with that. That's a juggernaut right now.
Like that is profitable. Let me tell you. Let me get behind Tetris. We're gonna rule this world.
I still can't believe they brought someone up from Google Stadia to act as like an expert witness. Like, come on.
So, jumping ahead, Andrew sent me a video 2 weeks ago, and it was for the Star Wars game. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. And then I saw another video on TikTok, and it was a little bit more. It was the trailer. And I was like, you know what? This looks pretty interesting. So, Nathan, I want you to go ahead and read the little game caption. This is called Star Wars Outlaws, and it's coming out in 2024.
What am I reading?
It says, Nathan, read this in your dramatic announcement voice.
Where is this?
Where am I reading it?
It's in Discord and show notes. It's the big paragraph. It says, discuss new Star Wars game.
This is funny because I don't know anything about this game. Discuss new Star Wars game.
No. Skip a little bit.
Nathan, read this in your dramatic announce voice. All right, that's fine. Experience the first ever open world Star Wars game, set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore distant planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. Risk it all as King Vis, a scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life, along with her companion, Nyx. Fight, steal, and outwit your way through the galaxy's crime syndicates as you join the galaxy's most wanted. If you're willing to take the risk, the galaxy is full of opportunity. Discuss our 5-week play together. Just kidding.
Dude, the Scottish accent out of nowhere.
It's a bad Scottish accent, too. I'm bad at all accents except Australian and British.
You did go like full dwarf there for a second.
Let's hear the Australian British now that you claim to be decent.
Actually, dwarf is... I'm not bad at dwarf. Experience the first ever open Star Wars game, set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore distant distinct planets across the galaxy. I just channeled Torbjorn from Overwatch for him.
You did.
Um,
Hashtag my old man.
I gonna get new. Risk it all, SKVS. All right, I'm not doing this whole thing. Good eye, mate. Our experience the first open world Star Wars game. Sat between the first of. Sat
You
between
sound
the
like a used
events.
car salesman.
Experience the first open Star Wars game. I sat between the events of the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore distinct planets across the galaxy. Both Anakin. I lose the plot halfway through every time. I don't know what I'm doing. We should move on. It does sound like a fun time though. Is this made by EA? Because if so, I'm not getting it.
Most
Yeah, there's going to
likely,
be a
since
lot of
it's a
stuff
Star
to have
Wars
to pay
game.
for.
Yeah,
They're
true.
like with everything they did with what was it? The last Star Wars game was that Knights of the Old Republic, the Battlefront 2. Everything with the absurd, insane cash grab it was, and then becoming the most downvoted post on Reddit. It's
Massive
impressive.
entertainment.
So it's not EA. Interesting.
Reddit EA downvoted. I have to read this actually. So in response to the backlash.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. In response to the backlash of Battlefront 2, which if this isn't EA, that's great.
What, the Star Wars game?
Well, Battlefront 2 when it came out years ago.
This says that there's no surprise given the game is being developed by Massive Entertainment, most known for its work on the third-person shooter The Division.
Interesting.
Well, it was also showed at the Ubisoft Forward convention, so I'm pretty sure it's an Ubisoft title. They might be helping work on it, which means it's not EA, which is great.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of stuff you have to pay to unlock.
Yeah, EA's good at that.
So somebody made a post on Reddit. This was 5 years ago when Battlefront 2 came out. The title: seriously? I paid $80 to have Vader unlocked? Oh, okay, so sorry. Seriously? I paid $80 just to have Vader locked? This is a joke. I'll be contacting EA support for a refund. I can't even play effing Darth Vader? Disgusting. The age of microtransactions has gone way too far. Leave it to EA, though, to stretch the boundaries. EA community team responded, this comment has negative 667,638 downvotes.
Gosh.
Almost a million downvotes, this one comment. It has like 1,466 Reddit like awards. Like, it's absurd. People like gave them. The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at the average per-player credit earn rates on the daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth across the various topics here on Reddit, our forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can. And I'm very glad that it's not EA making this new Star Wars game, because it won't be full
EA
on
Sports sounds like a
constant
presidential runner.
microtransactions.
Would not be surprised.
Yeah.
That's sad.
So, let's talk about the game that we've been playing. Tarkov.
We don't have to.
Escape from it.
Poor Andrew. I'm over here kind of having a decent time with Tarkov, and he's like, I can't wait to move on to the next.
It's a good time, but we need a personality that is extremely one way or the other, and
No,
I
I'm
tend
down
to
with
do
it.
that with video
It's kind
games.
of funny.
I either love them or don't want to play them.
It's entertaining.
I had a great raid right after you guys got off.
Andrew, did you end up playing more with him?
Yeah, we played for a couple hours, yeah.
Yeah, so how it went this week, I didn't have a chance to play until Saturday, which was yesterday. We filmed this on Sunday, a week before the episode actually releases.
Don't let them know that.
We filmed this the exact day of it being put out. And
that's right. Almost live.
Cut that. I don't know where I was now.
You played Saturday because you didn't play this week.
So we basically just played Saturday, which was yesterday, and I ended up actually playing with Josh for the first time, and it was pretty great because we had a totally different experience. And then at one point, Andrew hopped on. We played for a little while. I got off, and then I guess Andrew played a little bit more with Josh. But we actually had some pretty successful raids, and then one that made me pretty annoyed later. But it's a good time.
It was good.
You had a raid that annoyed you later?
Like my last raid, like later on in my
Oh,
gaming
okay.
session. Yeah. Oh,
I thought you
I
meant-
just like I was fine while I was playing it, but later on I thought about it and I got super annoyed.
That's what I thought you meant. I was kind of confused.
No.
Our first couple raids, we did good. We did a scav.
Oh yeah.
And Nathan was like, well, let's do a scav. And then we went, and then I spawned in. I'm like, I have a quest item. We need to leave. And then
Quest item he was looking for a long time and kept dying.
Yeah, because every time I got it, I would die with it. So I was like, whoa, this sucks. So I like the second thing I looted while Nathan was still loading in, I'm like, we're leaving.
We're leaving.
So we just walked through, and I taught him some keybinds. I taught him how to, like, if you're scoped in and someone's near you, how to unscope without making the noise. So Nathan just kept playing with it the whole time, just kept hitting the keybinds for it. And he's like, are you watching me? Look. So I don't remember if anything really happened with that raid. The first one we just extracted.
That raid was easy. It was no big deal. We just walked along the fence and made it around to. Didn't we go all the way around and then extract at Ruined Road?
Yes, we did. We went all the way down the wall.
There's like nothing that happened. We did see a scav along the road, but we were playing as scavs, and neither of us had negative. What was it like? Reputation.
Scav karma, yeah,
karma, whatever it is. So it was a fairly simple one, but it helped me understand a little bit more, and I got a little bit of loot out of it because I was just got my stuff that we spawned in with. Pretty cool.
I personally want to know what super soldier serum these guys all took in order to hear someone look down the scope of their gun. Like that is freaking impressive, if you ask me.
It's kind of goofy.
That's crazy. And the fact that you can apparently I can unscope without making noise. That's, bro, you should be able to do that as a normal person. It's not that hard.
Well, the second raid, Nathan's like, well, let's do scav again. I'm like, well, we can't. We have to wait 18 minutes.
Sure.
I said, well, let's play PMC. And he's like,
scared.
No. Yeah, exact words. I'm scared. I was like, oh, we'll just play the same way we played the scav. We'll just hide. We'll, if we see somebody that we think we can fight, we'll fight them. If not, we'll just scurry along. And that one was pretty crazy.
I love hearing that. I do, because that is not how I play that game at all.
Well, that's a conversation I had with Nathan. I was like, how do you want to play? Andrew wants to play where we're fighting people. What do you want to do? Do you want to fight? Do you want to loot? Like, what is... He's like, I just want to learn. We can play however. If somebody comes along, we can fight them, then let's fight them. If we don't see anybody, then we'll get some loot.
I sniped a scav off a roof who was great.
Yeah, nice. we walked up the power on Shoreline, and I was like, oh, don't shoot the scav, I need it. So I shot him, and then we're walking like, Nathan, stop talking, I hear something. And we could hear like a scav or a player moving. So I'm looking, and all of a sudden he's above us. And so Nathan just one-shots him, drops him right off the building. He's like, can we loot him if they fall off the roof? I'm like, yeah, but did he fall off the roof? And he goes, well, yeah. So he looted his scav kill because he got his guy to fall off the roof. So we killed some people. And then, that was the raid where we were walking. I'm like, Nathan, stop moving. I see somebody. And we were hiding in bushes. And I was in another bush way away from Nathan. And he's like, are you in that bush? Or that bush? Are you by that tree?
I was
or that tree. And I don't know where I am. I'm like, hold on, Nathan. I see the guy. So I take a shot and I miss. And I'm like, oh, crap. So then he's running around. And eventually Nathan was like, are you running? And I see him and he's running behind Nathan. And all of a sudden he stops and I take a shot and I drop him. And Nathan was earlier looting and he found something called Propodol, which heals you. It heals you 1 hit point for 300 seconds.
It's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
So he was debating, like, should I keep this in my alpha container or in my rig? Is it worth it? I'm like, yeah, we'll keep it. It'll help us. That tool that will help us later. So Nathan all of a sudden starts dying from starvation because we've been in the raid for so long. So he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So did you take the Propadol?
Yeah, whenever I was dying, I took the Propadol and I started like eating a bunch of cheese.
Yeah, so you took the Propadol and we start walking like, here, I'm going to drop some cheese, which heals you a little bit. It's just a little med kit.
It's a med kit. Thank you. If you just kept calling it cheese, like, you're going to confuse some people. Like, man, cheese is really good in this game.
So I would drop it for him, and then he'd heal. I'm like, tell me when you're done. So we'd just be walking, and he'd bandage, and then he's like, I'm out of cheese. I'm like, here's another slice, and I drop it on the ground. He picks up the cheese and keep using it, and we just got to extraction right when he was like 100 and something health.
Nice.
So that was it. He got a lot of loot out of that one too. And I mean, that was how our raids went until, you know, we had some good raids with you, and then that last one. When Nathan got off, that was a cluster. That was frustrating.
Yeah, it was just one thing after another. Like, Josh got gimped really early, and like none of us pushed in to help him because we don't really know what we're doing. And like, I'm running around with a sniper rifle. I don't bum rush people with a sniper rifle. I had a pistol, but like in my head, I was like, that can't be that good. I ended up killing the guy later with it, but like...
And then this is the first time I try to listen to Josh's advice, because he's always like, you can't play this like Call of Duty. You can't just run in and kill people. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to run in there and get myself killed. And Josh is like, push. And I'm just thinking, no, you don't want me to do this. And I still don't see the guy, so I'm not running in blind. It was ridiculous.
I didn't know where you were. I didn't know where the other guy was, and that was...
Oh, you knew where I was, Nathan. You freaking popped me 3 times.
No, not you.
You found me real
that was later.
Before he died.
Oh, that was later. Okay.
I kept seeing you. I kept turning around. This game doesn't give you like indications that like somebody is your teammate. So I kept turning to the right. Like, it was 2 times I shot you because I got thinking you were an enemy, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna shoot him. And like, that was just my monkey brain popping out and saying, hey, point at that guy and pull the trigger because he's gonna pull the trigger on you. So I didn't kill him. I just hurt him a little bit, I think. But maybe it just hit his armor.
Me and Nathan spawned in at the beginning of the game, and Andrew's computer hadn't spawned in yet. So where we spawned, I'm like, we're out in the middle of the open. We got to get up this hill. So we're sitting there and we're watching everything. And then finally, Andrew's computer spawns in. So Andrew's like, well, where are you? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Where are you? So I move further on this cliff, and this guy comes up, and Nathan's like, I hear someone running. Well, this dude went in this house, looted, ran out of the house, and I'm all by myself. The other 2 were over on the other side of the house. This guy runs at me. I take a couple shots. I have a sniper, run out of ammo. Then next thing you know, he just kills me. So then I'm like, guys, push. Then Nathan and Andrew came in, but every time they'd spin around, they'd forget that they were with each other, so they thought they were the enemy. And then Nathan started shooting Andrew. I'm like, I'm watching on Discord. I'm like, stop shooting. You're shooting Andrew. Then all of a sudden on Nathan's screen, I see the guy just jump off the cliff. I'm like, well, either he's dead or he's down there stuck.
And I could hear him grunting like, like underneath the cliff. And I was like, well, we got to get down there, but I need to not kill myself. So we ran far to the right to like this little tiny like divot, this little valley that you could kind of make a slow descent off the hill, off the little mountain here, because it really was like a cliff the guy fell down. And he's over there grunting. And then I just I take it slow at first because I'm like scared he's gonna pop out with a bazooka. And then I don't think that's in the game, but I eventually find him. He was like standing still underneath the cliff. I was like going around the bottom of this cliff to where he fell, and I'm assuming he was trying to heal himself. And I like pop out and I see him, but I don't realize I see him right away because he's standing still and everything looks like it's hard to tell immediately that somebody's a person. And then he's like staring at me, and then we both start shooting each other at the same time. And I kill him, and he just like does some damage to me or whatever. But like I just rapid fired my pistol, and that guy went down.
Yeah, Nathan got hit a couple times, and I'm like, shoot him! Next thing you know, I see the guy die. I'm like, oh, let's go! Nathan's bloodthirsty. So, and then you guys,
sniper,
you guys went over to power and got destroyed. And that was confusion, because I was trying to help both of you to heal, and then when I was telling one person, the other person thought I was talking to them. And when I was talking to that person, the other person thought I was talking to them. And I'm like, you're healing wrong. So
We were just trying to. Well, we had one. Is this the one that you died first, and then we went and extracted?
yeah, because
that story was amazing of how Andrew actually extracted that.
no,
In there.
Andrew didn't. No,
This is a separate one.
yeah, because
This
Andrew.
is the one before this one. When you died, and then. Okay, so Josh, we had two ones. One that ended terribly. That was the last one, which is what we're talking about. Because when you died, when you got killed by that guy, we were just trying to eventually try to run across the map and make our way along this path to get to the end to extract, and then we ended up getting ourselves killed in this like one random like I don't know where we were exactly on the map, but this guy popped out. He was a real player, and he destroyed me. I was freaking out trying to like look at my inventory. Josh is like, use the red thing in the tactical rig, and I'm like, what? And
that was definitely a part where I start looking in my tactical rig while I'm supposed to be cover firing.
Holy crap.
And I'm like, what is this?
The eye in the sky was a little rough there. If you were like, just use the AFAC or whatever it's called, I would have known. But you said the red thing, and then I clicked on the red thing that was in my backpack because I didn't hear in my head, like I couldn't parse tactical rig. It was a mess. And then Andrew, I don't even know what happened with you, but I died first because the guy shot an entire clip into me, and I was shooting back at him, and apparently I didn't hit him. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, yeah, I pulled out a gun that I didn't realize was a bolt-action rifle. I just thought it was like a semi-auto, so I just pulled it out, shot once at him, and pretty much just grazed him and gave away my position, of which was hiding inside the little hut of the power station. And then by the time I switched to my shotgun, he just destroyed me.
Yeah, that was our last one together of the.
So what was the raid that you were talking about before?
Before this one, all three of us started off by the ocean, and Andrew spawned in last, of course. We went and tried to find him. He spawned farther away from us. This was the first one we played with him. We were scavs. And we started pushing up toward him. We were shooting in the air so he could hear us.
Oh, the shotguns.
Yeah. I mean, he had the double barrel shotgun he spawned in with.
Putting in work.
He was putting in work. My goodness. And we started going along to the left.
Oh, yeah.
Along the ocean.
To the pier.
The pier.
Yep.
And do we want to take? Who wants to take this away of what happened?
Well, I was like,
two very unfortunate things happened from our wonderful Josh and wonderful Andrew here.
Well, you're forgetting the part about what happened to Josh, which is the most important story.
That's that happened like by pier. Did we? It was like
it happened in pier.
To you, yeah.
Nathan and I were together, and we both have shotguns. And Andrew spawned in, but I couldn't really tell where Andrew was. So we're just shooting shotgun shells in the air, and we're like, "Do you hear that?" Yes. Okay. I walk towards that. All right. Oh, now we see you. Okay. And then Nathan shot at Andrew and almost killed Andrew, just messing around. And he's like, "You almost took my face off."
I didn't touch him.
So I was like, "Let's go to pier. We'll look at pier, see what kind of loot's over there." And they were looting these boxes on the road. And then when you walk down the road, you got to turn sharp left, and it kind of goes downhill into the pier. And I'm like, "Turn left." And they're like, "Well, what left?" I'm like, "No, you got to go past it." So then they were confused about walking down the road. So then they jumped over the wall, and they were walking on the hill of the wall. So I'm in pier, and I go to step inside the building. And as soon as I step inside the building, the scav walked out. Scared the crap out of me. So I just started boom, 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 boom. And I missed every shot.
We're scavs.
Yeah.
We're scavs.
Yep.
This guy would not have shot Josh. But he freaked out.
He scared the crap out of me, and I just thought to shoot. I missed all the shots. He turned on me, he killed me, and boom, I'm dead. So now it's just Andrew and Nathan walking around, and they're like, "Well, is he going to shoot us?"
We made our ways. Yeah, we were like, "Oh, we don't know if we were going to shoot us or not." But it was like, we're scavs, and he was like, "Yeah." He assured us that this guy's not going to shoot us. So we walked up. The scav is sitting there, like, crouched over Josh's dead body. And what did Andrew do?
I can't take that. Listen, all right, I completely you guys are just not from the same part of town as I was growing up in. Because what happens is Josh made a mistake, right? He tried to pop Homie. Homie popped him. Like, you know what? I'm going to cry for Josh. I'm going to mourn him. But at the end of the day, Josh was the one who made the mistake. Like, I can't be, like, super frustrated at the other guy for retaliating and shooting a guy who was shooting at him. So you know what? Fine. Like, I get it. You killed Josh. I'm upset about it, but I have to let it slide because Josh made a mistake. Was not the other guy's fault. And then the idiot has the audacity to just walk over and crouch over on Josh's body to start to freaking loot it. Dog, you ain't gonna do that to me and mines. I'm shooting you. You're blowing your face off, dog. I ain't putting up with that. That's disrespect. That's spitting on a man's grave, and I'm not about that, Chief.
Andrew walks up to the scav, pops him in the back of the head. I will remind you, scavs are not players. They're not human people. They are just AI in the game. And this whole thing was incredible.
Well, they have player scavs, and then they have AI scavs. This was a computer scav who would not have hurt any of us.
One.
Yeah, well, the AI scav wasn't about that life, and I was making sure he wasn't about any life after that.
So we're like, okay, well, I guess we loot both this guy and Josh's body, and now Andrew is going to get shot at by scavs because he now has a lower standing with them, and he killed one of his homies, or one of their homies. So we loot that stuff. We go in the building, start looting all the filing cabinets. Andrew goes to pee, and I go upstairs and I loot like the safe and stuff upstairs in this building. And then at that point, we go down. We're kind of like, our pockets are pretty dang full here.
Nathan, you're downstairs, and I'm like, loot the filing cabinets. And he's like, well, they're already looted. I said, no, every drawer is a filing cabinet that you can open.
That was Andrew.
That was Andrew.
Yeah, that was me.
So then Andrew goes upstairs. Nathan is still downstairs, and I'm watching all of them on my other monitor. And Andrew's looting everything. I said, Andrew, Nathan already took everything from up here. There's nothing left to get. So he stands on the balcony of the second floor and goes, well, I'm just going to take the easy way down instead of going down the stairs.
I can hear Josh saying no. I'm like, screw it. I shouldn't be taking too much damage. I broke my legs.
Both of them. Break my legs, Daddy.
That's right. And I did, just for you, Dad.
Andrew thought this hyper-realistic game wouldn't have fall damage. I don't know what it was. I assume it was a big joke, but dang, we had to extract at that point.
I hate this game.
I didn't think I was breaking both legs. I thought I'd probably have to maybe put a splint on one leg and I'd heal up just fine. But yeah, in a game, I guess, where you can hear people aiming down sight of their gun, I should have thought a little more.
Andrew, I hate this game, but this game isn't going to break my legs jumping off the second floor.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
So,
I mean, you can eat cheese until you're better. That's pretty realistic, I guess.
I'm chilling here, standing over the body of my friend Josh. My homie Andrew just jumped out of a building, broke both of his legs, tried to fix it up, but he doesn't have anything. He just has 2 broken legs. We have to extract. We have pockets full of sunshine, and we got to get that sunshine out of here.
Tell the viewers how far you have to go with what amount of time.
Gosh. We have something like 12 minutes left, which that sounds like awesome. That's like, okay, yeah, you just sprint out to there. Andrew cannot sprint at this point because he broke both of his legs.
I'm moving at a quarter pace right now. I have super gangster walk.
Your speed is so bad because you can't use any of your stamina to sprint. Your speed, you're walking like a grandmother who just tripped and sprained an ankle, and she got back up because when she falls down, she gets back up again because that's what life has taught her. But then she has to extract. She has to get the heck out of Tarkov. How's she going to do that with 2 broken legs, huh? So that's what we had to do. I stuck with Andrew because I'm a good homie. So I kind of stayed ahead of him and I kind of scouted it out. I tried to loot some stuff. There wasn't a ton to loot. We were walking along the ocean trying to make it to the very edge of the map called Ruined Road where we could extract, get the heck out of here. Remind you, Andrew shot a scav earlier. He's a scav. So now he's going to have scavs shooting at him if they show up, which makes the situation even more precarious. So we're walking along. Well, Andrew is snailing along, and I'm kind of doing the same to keep up with him mostly, and I'm keeping an eye on what's going on. We have to walk. Like I said, we have 12 minutes. It sounds like a great amount of time, but he's ace. His sheer... it's terrible. It's terrible what we had to deal with.
On a good day...
We're very lucky that...
Running from the pier... building stam to the extraction probably would have taken a good 3-4 minutes. But now you have to do it crawling.
Essentially, imagine some dude having to crawl across Pennsylvania. That's what we had to do. And it wasn't easy. But we persevered. I said, Andrew, worst comes to worst, you die, I'm gonna loot you a little bit, and then I'm gonna like if he bleeds out or something, or if it's clear he can't make it.
Nathan's
maybe
like,
I say,
Andrew, what do you have valuable on you? So when you die because you don't make the extract, I'm just gonna grab it real quick and leave.
he's lucky I didn't shoot him and move on after he jumped out of a 2-story building. But I stuck with him, and we just kept moving along. We didn't really see any scavs or players. It was fine for most of the way. We're probably 80%, 85% there. We're super close to the very corner of the map where Ruined Road is. All you have to do is stand there 6-7 seconds, and you get out. Near the very end of this snail's pace journey over the course of like 10-12 minutes, there's these two dudes. These like, were they scavs or were they players or were they?
They were scavs. They were computer.
They were okay. They were computer. These
They
two
better
computer scavs pop up out of nowhere by like this I don't know, it
Concrete
was a
building.
gas station or something. Yeah, it was some concrete building, and they're chilling over there. Like we're like, there's the road that we've been kind of walking along, and then there's like the sandy embankment to the left of the road, which is right by the ocean. And we were kind of walking along that at this point, and across the road on the other side, there were these scavs, and there was like a hill that kind of goes up and some buildings and such. The scavs start shooting at Andrew, and he's like dodging and weaving, like he's going back and forth. He's
It's
trying his
flipping and
best.
flopping at that point. I don't got 2 legs, man.
You don't have anything at that point. You're like moving so slowly, you might as well have kept holding down W because going back and forth isn't going to help you that much. So these guys apparently have terrible aim because I don't know if did they hit you at all?
No, they were stormtrooper status.
That's
They didn't touch me.
incredible that they did
It
not
was
even.
bad.
I can't even believe that. So I'm like ahead of him. I'm like, okay, well they're probably not going to shoot at me if they're not players. So there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to be a meat shield for Andrew. He caused this himself. But we're like very close, 85, 90% of the way there. Ruined Road, we can see where it is. It's the edge of this mountain. So we're just heading there, and I'm like, there's one point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a sprint for it because I didn't know if they were players or not, and I wasn't about to get killed. I was
Well,
like,
at
I'm
this
getting
point,
out of
we're
here.
like 30 seconds left till the game
We're
ends.
very close.
Yeah, true. It's pretty close.
It was more like a minute because I think you had like a minute when you were getting close to it. You were very close to the wire here, but I sprinted forward. I went to where I was supposed to, the very edge, Ruined Road. I laid down prone and I just waited in case one of these guys came at me, and I got out. And then I pull up Andrew's stream and I'm just watching him just make his
Inching
way
along.
toward Ruined Road 1 inch
Now,
at a time.
was this the raid where at the very end the guy like
Yes.
came in front? Yeah, so I'm like 10 feet away with about 20 seconds left. One of these NPC bot scavs decide to run up on me, and they try to shoot me. Hit me once, just pull out the double barrel, pop, homie's dead. I was like, let me loot this fool, and Josh was like, no, you have no time. So I just
Let me loot this fool.
dragged along. I got like I'm at like 10 seconds, and I think the exfil took like 6, and I was like, yes, just enough
You
time.
just
made
made
it.
it.
Barely got out.
I don't know how you made it from here to there and you did not die and you made it out in time. That was something.
It is because the Lord was watching out for me because I did right by my homie.
The Lord does keep watch over us in video games and cares if we win or lose.
Indeed.
Indeed.
You got off.
Yeah.
Me and Andrew played a little bit, and then Andrew got off, and so my buddy got one.
Nice.
I was trying to get that out. Trying to get that out before we started again. So you got off. I played with Andrew a little bit. Andrew got off. And then my buddy, his name is One Bad Rebel. He got one. And we're playing on the map Woods, and we stayed in the spawn pretty much the whole game. And I start working my way down towards the edge of the water, going towards that pickup extract. And we see these 2 juiced PMCs. I mean, they're thick boys. Thick. Like, they got a lot of cheese. They've been eating. And we see them running, and I'm like, there's no way they're coming this way to extract. They have to be going towards outskirts the same way we are. So I was like, let's try to get up behind them, and then we'll just shoot them in the back. Well, I'm standing up against the water, and I was looting the food where there's a van that's like partially in the water, and the trunk is open and luggage has spilled out on the ground, and there's always food that spawns there. So I pick it up and I'm hiding behind this rock, and my buddy Rebel's like, I'm gonna go up on the hill and overlook the beach. As soon as he gets up there, he gets headshot. suppressed. And I'm like, oh boy, those two PMCs are still there.
Are there suppressed snipers?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh man,
very suppressed.
terrifying.
So I'm hiding the best I can behind this rock. Now keep in mind, only half of my body is concealed by the rock. I can't get over anymore because it's an invisible wall. And I hear them walking, and they walk up to the van, which is like 10 feet away from me. Like I could take my flip-flop off and throw it at the van and hit it. And I'm like, they're going to see me. I have a bolt action sniper rifle with terrible armor. They're going to see me. I'm just going to lose. Should I start throwing my gear in the water? Maybe if they kill me, my body will just slide in the water and they can't loot it and I'll get everything back. They walk by me, loot the van, and then just keep walking, never saw me. The one keeps walking off. The other one stops, turns around, and looks at me. I had no time, pulled my gun up and shot him in the face. Now his buddies on red alert start shooting the side of the van. I pull my gun up, I peek over behind the trunk, boom, headshot him, drop him.
Oh my gosh.
Two juiced dudes. I look around the corner, there's a dude at the top of the hill, starts shooting at me. So I lay down, he's running around, I'm out of ammo. So I run to the first dude I just killed, pick up his gun, I start shooting it, I'm out of ammo with that one. So I'm fighting this dude, I have no idea what it is. I throw my gun on the ground, pick up his second gun that he had on him, stand up, and I start fighting this player scav. He ends up using all of his ammo trying to kill me. He runs out, so he just runs away. Well, he messed me up, but I was able to stop all the bleeds. Well, I used my CMS kit because both my legs and my arms and my stomach were blacked. I had 58 health left when I was done, out of 440. I used the CMS kit, but instead of dragging the CMS kit on the part of the body I wanted to use first, it just started using the CMS kit on my arms. So now I was in the same status as Andrew, where I couldn't run. I had 3 minutes left in the raid, and I was still on the complete other side of the map. I can't run. I can take pain pills and run, but it still takes damage away from me because my legs are blacked. I was like, you know what? I messed those two dudes up. I never looted the other one. I partially looted the first one. Took all the attachments I wanted off of his body, off his guns, put them in my gamma case, and then the timer hit 0, never extracted. So it's called MIA. You go missing in action. But because I put his scopes and stuff inside my gamma case, I left with his really expensive rifle scopes.
Nice.
That is very nice. No
Got
matter
something out
what,
of it.
like when you play as PMC, if you can get in and get something rare or special and throw it in that case,
Yeah.
great. That's awesome.
Well, I figured because I was just going to leave my meds in there, and I was like, well, I want to take something of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And he has 2 scopes that are my favorite scope in the game. So I took that scope and something else. I'm like, I'll just take my meds out, put the scopes in my gamma, and then when I die, I don't know if it counts as you dying, because technically you don't. You just go missing in action when the timer hits 0. But I was able, when I got back to the main menu, I still had them.
Very nice. That's awesome.
So it sucks that I didn't get out with all that loot, but at the same time, like that was like Andrew the other day. Like he had fun when he killed that dude, even though he didn't make it out. I felt awesome after dropping those 2 guys with the tiny little gun that I had.
I bet.
So I was like, you know what? That was worth it. I was worth it.
Indeed.
All right, Andrew, do you know what DPI sensitivity is?
Not a clue.
It is your sensitivity in your mouse.
Okay.
So the higher it is, if you move your mouse a little bit, it'll react super quick to it.
Yeah. Sure.
And then, the lower it is, you have to like really move your mouse around.
Mm-hmm.
What DPI setting do you think you play on? Because this podcast that I listened to, they said, all the gamers will tell you the better you get, to turn your DPI up higher, because it's easier to spin around. You move your mouse a little bit, you did a 180. Where with the lower DPI, you have to really move your mouse, like drag it across your entire desk to be able to do a 180. But then they made a good point that the lower your DPI is, the better reaction and accuracy you're going to have on those quick shots or strafing shots. So what do you play on? And compared to what I just said, what do you think would work better?
Well, let's talk about the fact that I didn't even know what DPI was. So I have no idea what my DPI is that I play on. Um, it would just be whatever the default settings are for that particular application. I know if I play like an FPS game or something that has a sensitivity setting on PlayStation, I'll mess with it. I usually keep it on the higher end, but I definitely didn't mess with anything going into Tarkov because I just wanted to. I'm assuming if I raised it, I would have done horrible. I already kind of am a little squirrely whenever I'm looking around, so I was not going to try to make it any higher. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, I think it's different with a controller because you have the two little analog sticks
Oh,
than
100%.
with the mouse. And I played kind of like a little bit less than medium range, but Saturday before I played with Nathan, I actually cut mine down by half of what I was playing. And I've noticed like it's slower to reaction, but I've been a little bit better with shooting and stuff.
Hmm.
My mouse has an actual DPI setting bar on it, but the
Hey, mine has a DPI button. Sorry,
oh, does it?
squirrel
No,
moment.
you're
Yeah.
Mine
good.
does. Mine does too.
Mine, I can set it if I want it, or I could just use those buttons to do something else. But Tarkov itself has a mouse sensitivity, so I just don't know if that's something you mess with. Nathan, what is your
I
take?
have not.
I don't know. I haven't touched the sensitivity in this game. I just go with whatever its default.
All right, you play Halo. Have you messed with the sensitivity in Halo?
Yes.
Lower or higher?
Let me think about it.
Do 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 do.
I think it's decently high, but I also don't. It's not crazy. It's hard to talk about. Like I don't know my exact numbers.
No, you
But
don't need your like if does it take you a lot of mouse movement to turn in game, or is a small mouse movement make you turn a lot in game?
it's somewhere in the middle.
Do you think that the same DPI you use for Halo is able to correlate with Tarkov, or do you
I
think
think
because
so.
they're different? Yeah, okay.
I think so. It's similar. It depends on the style of the game though, because
Yeah,
Halo is a game where you're constantly moving very fast. Very quickly all over the place. Like it's like kind of intense in that way,
not Tarkov.
especially
You're
like
jumping
yeah,
everywhere.
Tarkov. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit like in that, but like Tarkov is kind of like it's slower paced for the most part, and if you're fighting, you're not like moving that much during it unless you're trying to run to cover.
Or you're
Um,
strafing or something. But
so I
Halo,
feel
you're
like it
moving
might
all the
need to be
time.
a little bit slower in that, especially like Overwatch. Overwatch and Halo, it's like fairly high comparatively than like other games. Like I played Valorant for a little while with my brother, um, and I think I had a slightly lower DPI in that game because so much of that game is just like sneaking. And when you are moving, your gun is wildly inaccurate. So you basically like if you're shooting somebody, you're also not moving. It's just very much like you're rarely actually like running full speed or anything like that. And you're not doing a lot of crazy quick mouse movements. So I think I normally have like a lower DPI for that game.
Okay. This week in the fantasy draft, we're going to be discussing our favorite burgers.
Mm.
Gotta
Fries
get
then
'em.
burgers. All right.
Yeah, we're
And
keeping a
going in
food
snake
motif right now.
style, Andrew's going to go, then Nathan, then me, then me, then Nathan, then Andrew. Do we
Okay.
got the rules?
Rules gotten.
And your
All
first
right.
favorite burger.
Now, it doesn't have to be hamburger. Like, it can be burger of any style, any place.
Well, good, because if you're limiting it to hamburgers, you are a heathen for not putting cheese on your burger.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
We got to start there.
Like, I
Um,
was at Burger King and somebody was like, I'll have a Whopper. And they're like, do you want cheese on that? They're like, no. I'm like, Why do you eat a burger without cheese?
No, what are you, crazy? Who puts cheese on a burger?
It's insane.
Crazy.
First overall pick, I would have to go. Let's see. So I don't want to choose that because I don't like that burger. You know what? First pick, I'm gonna have to go with the Baconator from Wendy's. Extremely solid choice. Hit me with all the meats, all the
So
bacon.
good.
You got to, once in a while, if you're feeling really crazy and really fat, you're just like, yeah, can I make that a quad Baconator, please? And then you just go into cardiac arrest. But it's
Well,
worth it.
don't they have a secret menu called like the Monster or something where it's 10 burger patties?
I don't know, but I remember you and I doing that a long time ago, Josh.
Oh
Those
yeah,
are
we
so
did it for
good.
the youth group video.
We did 10 patties. I think we got 2 chicken
Oh.
sandwiches
Yeah,
and an ice
and an
cream
ice
sandwich
cream.
bar on top.
Yeah.
It was insane. We were just eating it. Maybe if we reach like I don't know,
That's why
100
we're all
subs.
so fat.
Yeah. If we reach 100 subs, I'll post that video. I'm pretty sure I still have it.
If we
JK,
reach
I love
100
you.
subs, we'll each eat that same sandwich on
Again.
stream.
Listen,
No.
I'm down with like special, like sub goal special crap where we that'd be kind of fun.
All right. Well, yeah. First sub goal, we'll make it. We'll make it.
Andrew,
We will get together and do that.
I am so obsessed with a good burger,
Mm.
and I am so not picky about food for the most part, especially burgers. I don't know if I can argue with any of your choices today. That's a perfectly logical. I feel like it would be against
you.
my better
Thank
nature
you.
to argue in this one. Like I'm happy to argue about Pokemon or argue about even fries. Like I'm more particular about fries. Burgers are just burgers, man. They're so good. And my number one choice. Well, my number one choice for fries was Steak and Shake. My number one choice for burger was Steak and Shake. Specifically Steak and Shake's patty
Say it.
melt.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting
The
that.
Steak and
Isn't a
Shake,
I
patty
thought for
melt with like the
it's
sure.
thick
the
bread?
yeah, instead of a bun,
Yeah.
but it's like they have a specific thing. It's called the Frisco melt, and it's divine.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's divine. It's absolutely
I
divine, and
disagree.
it's like one of my favorite things that I've eaten. You're allowed to disagree, and I'm allowed
I
to
disagree.
shoot
I
you
have-
in our friendship.
Yeah. I have not had their version of the patty melt.
Oh,
Every
so
time I
good.
go there, I have to get. They have like a garlic double
That is
just
very good.
so good.
It's like coated.
So good.
I'm pretty sure they have
Yes.
like a guy whose job is specifically take a paintbrush and paint the burger.
Yeah.
Paint the garlic single burgers with garlic. This garlic sauce, just
So
every
good,
inch
though.
of it.
Amazing.
They douse it. They
All I can say is that Steak and Shakes are going out of business for a reason.
You're not wrong. A lot of them are out of business. There's still one relatively near me in Ohio that's still open, but I haven't seen any in a long time. Me and my friend Dustin, we'd go to Steak and Shake a lot. Shout out to Dustin when you watch this because he knows what I'm talking about. But we would go and we'd just do random movie trivia with some waitress there, and then we'd take turns taking the like $12 check between the two of us we had because it's so cheap to eat there. It was a good time. All right, so let's mop up Nathan's tears with Josh's choice of greasy burger. What do we got here?
My number one choice, since Andrew took Wendy's, is going to have to be Burgatory.
Okay. Is there a specific burger from there? Because I've only been there a handful of times, but it is good.
It's the Subway of the burger world.
I can get behind that. Ironically, to me, Burgatory's milkshakes are better than their burgers.
Their
If you've
milkshakes
ever
are
had a
pretty
milkshake
good.
there, they're fire.
And when you see their advertisement, it's more geared towards their milkshakes than burger. But you can get pork belly on your burger, bacon, all these different types of cheese. It's just so good.
So what's
never
your
been
standard go-to when you get there? Because you can get like a bison burger.
Yeah, it depends what I'm in the mood for. If I want something spicy or if I want something like crazy like the bison burger. But just the regular hamburger is a double patty, cheese, bacon, pork belly. And I don't remember all of their things, but like I had burger today because I'll tell you my second choice. But I'd have to look at their little list. But I know you can get pork belly there and it's delicious.
It is a good choice. Good choice.
Number 2.
So my
Josh.
second pick is where we ate today, and it's got to be Red Robin.
Red Robin is solid. I have a Red Robin problem. I told you this earlier. I've been to Red Robin 3 times in like a week and a half. It's sad. It's good.
It's
It's
good.
not expensive. And
No.
you know what? If you get a burger that you're just kind of meh about, you have bottomless fries. Go fill yourself
Yeah.
up, honey. It's okay.
And their campfire sauce is so good.
I just had that for the first time the other day. It is good, and the waitress was really surprised at how fat I was by guessing what the 2 ingredients are for their campfire sauce off of one taste. Might I add? I am amazing. Score 1 for me. But it is good. I personally am a fan of taking their ranch and their buzzard sauce and mixing it together. It's delicious.
Yeah, I
But what
had like
burger
this
do you get
blue.
when you're at Red Robin then? Like
I
you can't just say
love their
Red Robin.
Whiskey River burger, but today I got it's like the blue burger, so it was double patty with blue cheese, crispy onion straws. It was good. Lettuce, and then it had this chipotle aioli on it.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And then
Sounds making me hungry.
Their seasoning that they put on the table that you can put on your fries.
Oh, always put it on my fries. So good.
So good.
Incredible.
You can actually buy that from them, you know.
I tried to have my stepmom put it in her purse, but she's like, no. I'm like, I wish my wife was here, man.
She'd do it because she's down for the homies.
My wife loves me. If I want that seasoning's coming home.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that I lived with that would regularly go to Texas Roadhouse and ask for A1 bottles because they have big ones, and she'd just put them in her purse.
Nathan, what is your second pick?
I love burgers so much, it's very difficult. And I have 3 runners up that I'm going to list because you are giving me no choice.
You can't pick runner-ups. You just got to pick your second favorite.
We can talk about the runner-ups after, but you got to pick one.
Yeah, we didn't say pick your top 4.
You might,
if you had a choice,
neither of you might have been here, and you have definitely heard about it. But Whataburger has some of the best burgers
you were saying that
in
for
the
some
world.
Reason.
How did you know that?
Saying that.
Whataburger is like
it was either Whataburger or In-N-Out.
Like Texas. In-N-Out is not nearly as good as people say it is. It's good, but it's not like incredible. Whataburger is fantastic. I went to one a couple times when I was in Texas for a couple of years, which you're aware I was in Texas for a few years. For those who weren't, I was in Texas for a few years. They do have Whataburgers and In-N-Outs in that area. I don't know if in Florida they have In-N-Outs, but I went to Florida for a cruise last May, and we went to a Whataburger, and it was the highlight of the cruise. It's depressing. Like, I'm living in Georgia, to the most south I've lived apart from Texas years ago, and they still don't have a Whataburger where I am, and it makes me very sad because they're divine. But they just I don't know what it is. They have some really solid burgers. So if you live in an area or if you visit an area with a Whataburger, please do yourself a favor.
I've never been there. I'd like to. I've never been to an In-N-Out. That's something I would like to do.
In-N-Out's good. But I just don't think it's like incredible.
Is that the place where you're like, I want an animal style?
I'm actually not sure. Like I said, I've been there very few times.
I know what you're talking, but I wish I could remember it. I can't though.
I don't remember. Andrew, what is your number 1 pick?
So my number 1.
Number two. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, my second round pick. I guess you're right. Let's see. I don't go there too much because it seems kind of a bit overpriced for what you get. But I can't lie. A good Five Guys burger can change things. It's not. I don't know why they use the cheapest possible buns so that all the grease soaks through it and your fingers are wet. But bro, those burgers, you could tell they use real burgers and real. And you know what? Slightly off topic. Do yourself a favor. Get the overpriced hot dog just once. It's actually amazing. But yes, their burgers are good. I like the fact that almost no toppings cost anything. That's kind of cool, but they're overcharging you anyway, so whatever. But yeah, that, and obviously, again, when you have good fries mixed with good burgers, it's a win-win.
Their Cajun fries are pretty good.
Indeed.
This isn't about fries.
No. But it is about fries when you decide you have a brilliant idea and you put fries on your burger. Because nobody mentioned Permanis, but they also don't really do. They have one burger.
I've never had a
I've never had a
Permanis
burger from
actually.
there.
I didn't know they had burgers.
They do.
Their fish sandwich
have
is mostly
pizza.
what I get. When
That thing is
there.
huge. Like they're not kidding when they call it the colossal fish sandwich.
Colossal.
Last time we went there, I got the fish sandwich with the spicy sausage on it. So good.
Sounds so weird of a combination.
It's so good.
I have
I
to
always
mention
get
my runners up.
Yeah, go
No,
for it.
no, you continue. No, what were you gonna say? What do you
No,
get?
no, they're bothering you.
I was just gonna say every time I go to Permina's, I get the Capone. It's got ham, salami, Italian sausage, and what's the last thing? What's the capicola? That's it.
Beautiful.
It's a bunch of
Spicy
cheese.
mustard's good.
What?
I love spicy brown mustard.
What? No, mustard's disgusting. I still have that mustard here in my house for you, Josh.
What
That little
mustard?
tiny thing of Bavarian mustard.
Oh, from that Hillshire
Yeah.
Farm things. Yeah.
Go meat,
Okay.
baby.
Woo-hoo. All right, Nathan. Runners up. Let's go.
Red Robin has some really good burgers.
They
I
do.
agree
They really
with
do.
you 100%, and I wish that's one thing I wish I could have picked for a second. Apart from that, dude, Max and Irma's.
Never
Are
had
those
a
still
burger.
around?
Not in our
Ours
area
went
in
out of
Pennsylvania.
business.
There's one in Pittsburgh, and then there's like ones like farther west, south, and stuff, but not where you guys live, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Max and Irma's has some solid burgers. There's like the garbage burger where they just like put everything from their like garbage disposals on
I remember
the burger
hearing
and they
of
have
that.
you eat it, and that's a lie. They don't put. Just read between the lines, people. Goodness. My third
Recent
runner
headline:
up
Max and Irma's bankrupt.
goes to a banquet.
Goes to a banquet.
Max and Irma's goes to a wedding banquet for Ronald McDonald. So
Brings lots of cookies.
Yes, dude. Cookie trays aren't a thing outside of like our Pennsylvania area, and I don't know why.
I remember
bringing
how
cookies to a
upset
wedding,
you were.
like,
Yeah.
why
I
would
remember
you
how
not do
upset
that?
you were about your wedding. You were fighting for that.
There's
dog.
no cookie table. Why is there not a cookie table? Who doesn't do a cookie table for a wedding? That's absurd.
I mean, first of all, who really eats the wedding cake? Like, let's be real. I've been to
our
a
wedding
wedding
cake was
and
really good.
I may have had one piece of wedding cake at every wedding I've been to, like in general, because I just want the cookies.
Yeah.
Cookies, they're easy, they're portable. Kids can have as much as they want of them. It's not going to make a mess. Cookies are just a great thing for weddings, I think.
And there's so many different varieties. It's not like all chocolate chip.
Yep.
Is Max and Irma's your only runner-up?
No, that was my second runner-up other than Red Robin. And all my cookies I do lace with arsenic. So Jack's is actually my local one. I don't know. I think Jack's is a very local. I don't really know how local it is, but I've not seen it other places. There is one very close to where I live. It's called Jack's. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
I've heard of it. Isn't it Jack's in the Box, or is it?
No, it's not
just
Jack in the
Jack's?
Box.
I was
It's
going
called
to ask.
Jack's.
I feel like I've heard Jack's, but I've never.
I have no clue how
definitely one
local
around
it
here.
is. They have really good burgers, and I've never been to one before moving to where I am in Georgia at the moment. And I've gotten them a few times, and every time I'm like, this is really up there and some of the best burgers I've had. I don't know. I'll have to look into where their reach is, but gosh, it's delicious. So I'm good. I'm good on burgers now, but you brought up burgers, and I had to continue.
A bit of a glamour choice, I guess, or a fad, I guess. Have either of you tried Wahlburgers yet?
Yes.
Because I have not.
I went to Nick and Norman's the other day, which is like Norman Reedus and some other dude from Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. It's in Chattanooga, and I went there like a few weeks ago. It was actually really good.
Well, that's it for burgers, because burgers are great.
Well, boys, any other?
You know them burgers that Terry Crews has in the longest yard. I wonder how good those are.
I haven't seen that in so long. I don't even.
I got the fries that'll cross your eyes.
Is that what that's from?
I got burgers.
I got the burgers that'll.
I
got the burgers.
I got the burgers.
One of my all-time favorites.
Classic.
Well, guys, I think that wraps it up.
Boys, any other fucking points? Anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to hit on before we kind of move on here?
I'm very excited
I would like
to
hit
announce
on Josh's mom.
You've already done that before? And I would like to announce that July 7th in York, PA, they are opening up a Dave's Hot Chicken. I will be the first one in line. Thank you.
Nice.
Someone's gonna show up and shoot you.
Will I
Josh,
be there?
you may want to talk about this for next week's stream, but I think we could get away with it as an ending here. Yeah, we talked about how our weeks have been. How is your week going to be with that special surprise that you have coming up this Thursday?
We talked about it now or after?
That's up to you, my man. We can leave people on a cliffhanger, or you can talk about it now.
My wife surprised me and my friends and my brother-in-law with tickets to midget wrestling.
Midget wrestling.
And, drum roll please, on the flyer, they ask you to please bring props for them to use, including chairs, stools, anything you want, lamps. So we're going to be bringing some props for them to fight with.
That's
Beautiful.
incredible.
Right?
And I'm going to be honest, and I'm not going to be that guy, but I legitimately thought midget is a word you're not supposed to use anymore, so I'm like surprised to hear it. Is that what it's called, midget wrestling?
It is actually
Yes.
called midget wrestling.
That's
yes.
hilarious.
Do you have the pamphlet for it at all?
That is fantastic.
I don't have it with me, but I can definitely send the link to you guys in Discord.
I hope you have a wonderful time with that.
I'm sure we will. I'm going myself as well.
Hold on a minute. It's called...
Extraordinary.
Are you ready for this?
I love the title.
It's called Midget Mayhem. Wrestling Goes Wild.
That's the name of the episode, Midget Mayhem. I mean, come on.
That's next week's episode for sure, Midget Mayhem.
They have a little by the way, but I gotta find it.
I was gonna suggest an idea, but I don't think we even know enough. But our next fantasy draft could be best midgets, but I don't think we know more than maybe 2 midgets between the 3 of us.
I don't know about
Little
that one.
Mania Midget Wrestling. It's no small event. Little Fighters. Compact Combat. Tiny Brawlers.
That's so
It's
good.
amazing.
When are you going?
This Thursday.
This Thursday. All right.
Let me read you the event description. Get ready for the biggest little wrestling event of the year. The Micro Wrestling All-Stars are coming to town. These pint-sized powerhouses pack a punch. Watch as these mighty midgets, tiny titans, and wee warriors take to the ring and battle it out for the championship title. This is an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see some of the world's most talented wrestlers in action. Whether you're a fan of high-flying moves or lowbrow humor, this event has something for everyone. It's a little person wrestling extravaganza that will leave you feeling larger than life. Battle Royale, Rumble Deathmatch. Fans bring the weapons. Every micro for himself, herself. Micro wrestling fans and party goers are encouraged to bring your household items: cookie sheets, cheese graters, pans, ladders, metal chairs, and any other unique props or weapons in which the micro brawlers can use on each other, plus much more.
Kitchen.
So what are you waiting for? Get your tickets now. The window of opportunity is shrinking, and these events sell out every time.
Shrinking. That's a great time. I hope you guys... I'm excited to hear about this next week. You better
It should
talk
be
about
fun.
it.
We're going to come back next week. Josh will be like, I didn't do much this week. Just kind of laid around in bed.
Well, I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I get to actually spend time with my wife and my kids for once.
Ooh.
And get some sleep because I've been working 70-hour weeks for the last 3 weeks. So I'm going to sleep in a little bit.
Not ideal.
I'm going to hang out with Andrew a little bit too, and it'll be a good week. I miss my wife.
Well, I'm going to be up the week of the 4th, just saying.
I missed my wife.
That's next week. I'll be there. I go home on Tuesday.
I'm excited.
What day are you coming home?
Oh, yeah. Of that week, like Thursday or Friday. But they're like good 4 or 5 days.
So you're going to come home like the 5th or the 6th?
It's the 4th Tuesday?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like the 6th or the 7th.
Oh, I'll just be leaving. I won't see you.
No, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there Monday. Well, I might be there Sunday. I don't know when we're leaving exactly.
Oh, well, let
I'll
me
see you.
know.
Yeah.
I want to come see you.
Of course. I miss you.
What? Hey, if you come Sunday, we could just do a podcast in person.
There's also nothing stopping us doing on a day that isn't Sunday that you guys both have free if he's going to be here.
I'd have to bring setup and stuff, but we could possibly try to make it work. That would be awesome to do one in person. Andrew,
Yeah?
what did you say?
No, I was going to say we don't even necessarily have to do it on a Sunday. If you guys are going to be here throughout that week, we could record
don't tell
that
the
week.
audience that.
Yeah, we could possibly record that on a different day of the week when you're both here. We
True.
can just use my place if we need to.
Look at
Just
my
have a little
face.
sit down.
Be awesome.
Look at my face.
You look like an anime scientist with how bright that light was.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm blinding myself slowly.
All right, boys. Should we say goodbye to our lovely viewers who've been sticking with us?
We should
Get out of here.
say goodbye to our lovely viewers who have been sticking with us. Thank you for watching episode.
Get out, leave right now. It's the end of you
3.
and me.
Episode 3 of the My Mom Has Tourette's podcast, and we always end up
Ha
ending this with a song for some reason, but it's been
That's
awesome
true.
having you guys. Hope you're enjoying so far. Honestly, anytime, any place, let us know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see in the podcast, anything you'd
going
like to see
down.
changed, but
Meet
it
me
is
in the
going
mall.
down with the midget
Going down.
whistling.
Meet me in the
Yeah,
tub.
get out of here, you
Going
ragamuffins. We'll
down.
catch you next week.
Love you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Later.